Yep. We back with another episode, Full Profits Podcast with DJ Pocket. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Oh,
Man, I'm blessed, man. God has really been in my favor lately. Just trying to get
absolutely.
my creativity back.
Absolutely. We got to keep that on 100, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
for me. That's my sanity. So we got to stay creative,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what's going on in your life.
Yeah. I
Keep
think I
that
c-
creativity flowing.
yeah, I think I kind of turned to cooking and watching kind of like certain shows on Netflix to kind of spark my creativity back, and kind of get myself going back again.
No doubt.
Yeah. And I also been listening to Toxic Masculinity today. I was listening to it today. It's a good project, man. It's solid. It's solid.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie, my man Meeks, he did his thing on there. We sat down and really tried to flush out some of the concepts and ideas and stuff. We
Whose
definitely
I whose idea was that originally?
the concept of it.
Hmm.
That was Meeks's his that was his concept of the whole album. But we together kind of came up with concepts for certain songs and that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And I saw that Wise Intelligent was on there as well.
Yep, yeah, we got some good features on there. Wise, intelligent. Blue was on there. My man Superstition, Lil Clayway. Who else is on there? Yamin, East Smitty, and then as far as production, I produced everything except for two tracks on there. John Doe produced one of the tracks called Phono Bitch, or it's actually not bitch, it's Bich,
I know. It's a good
which is
song though.
the faux. I forgot how to pronounce it properly in the. I think it's Vietnamese or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then
saw that sign as well. I saw that sign as well.
Tone Beats produced the last joint on the album. Shout out to John Doe and Tone Beats.
Okay.
Yep. And
Have you go
one
ahead.
more. I'm sorry, my man, Son Little played the bass, live bass on joint called Legacy. So that's
Okay.
like all the features that were on the album. I don't
Okay.
believe there's anyone else.
Do you prefer to work with live instrumentation often or just here and there?
So I've only had like live bass a couple times. I've had, of course, keys before from like my man Count Bass Steve. But yeah, I don't mind at all. I mean, I'm actually starting to get more into like learning how to play myself and that sort of thing, just on a on a basic scale, basic level right now. But hopefully over time, it'll definitely advance. But yeah, I'm an advocate for instruments though. I love instruments. I just don't know a lot. I don't have a lot of musicians around me, but if I do have access, I definitely bring them in.
I would have thought otherwise. I thought you'd be around a lot of musicians that could come in and
I'm,
help you.
I mean, they're here. I could find them, but I'm just not around them. That's not like my inner circle doesn't just have a lot of musicians in it.
Okay.
It's a few, and and plus, just it takes a lot to bring a band together and really record. If I'm going to record a band itself, but as
Hmm.
far as the individual pieces, that's easy to do. I've gotten some saxophone riffs from people before, little riffs from individual instruments that I've sampled and put in certain tracks, but I haven't had like multiple. I say no more than two or three live elements at one time.
Okay. Where did the inspiration for this project come from?
So me and Eddie Meeks, I've been knowing this brother for a long time. Shout out to my man Eddie Meeks, and we always talked about doing music together. When I first came to Atlanta, he was in a group called Prophetics. They allowed me to do a joint on on their project, and we just became good friends. But we never really did music together. We when my man Count Bass was here and I was doing some work with him with the In the Loop series. Meeks, featured on some records on those albums we did. But me and Meeks, we just never locked in and did a project. So we started doing some work. I want to say it was around COVID time or maybe a little bit later, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle, with life and everything going on. And we just came back at some point. It was like, look, we gotta, finish this up and go ahead and make it happen. We always had great chemistry in the studio. we just, like I said, we were friends, so it just, the music was kind of secondary to us to do together. You know what I'm saying? And we finally put it all together, and I mean, it came out real nice. Came out real nice.
Okay, yes, it's a solid project. It's a solid project. I like it. It takes me back to that real old school vibe. Trying to teach the youth and educate people, and break certain things down to the young men and women, but mostly the young men about yourself and the love for yourself, the self respect and your community. But it's a very good project.
I,
Um,
I would say our music probably is always going to have those well, always have those elements in it as long as I got control of it. You know, if somebody wants to buy a track from me and they just take it and run with it and do what they do, that's one thing. But anytime I ever have any input on it, you know, most likely it's going to have some content in there, something conscious, something righteous.
mhm.
You I mean, that's really what it's about. That's what I'm about, and that's what the people that I surround myself with is about: positivity, elevation, and moving the culture forward. Not trying to take us back 10, 20, 30 steps. So
For sure, for sure. What is your journey for righteousness and reading and educating yourself? Where did that come from? Was it always something that you were a part of, or did you get into that later on in life?
um, I mean, I've always had it's wild, man. My life has always been a lot of positive elements around me.
Okay.
Starting being young and my parents, in the church, that was my first influence to, God or any kind of code of conduct, as far as, how to conduct yourself. Of course, from home, but, that was their foundation, the church. And then as I grew up, in Baltimore, I had, my moment when I was in the streets or whatever. But even in those streets, man, it was always people around me like, look, man, you do music, you need to be doing this. You need, you don't need to do what we do. You don't need to be out here. I just always had positive elements around me, and at a younger age, I realized that wasn't for me as well. So, um, once I really started doing music, the era that I grew up in, music wise, it was a lot of conscious music, and
Hmm.
just kind of
Definitely.
stayed with me. It was, when you listen to the radio, you would hear "Poor Righteous Teachers" and "Public Enemy" on the radio. You would hear a nice, happy party tune from Biz Markie on the radio. You know what I'm saying? You would hear songs that just had either social commentary or that just the funny, let's have a good time and let's party, but there wasn't degrading our black women and degrading ourselves as black men, or just people in general. It doesn't have to be black or white or whatever. It just
Hmm.
was, inspiring in some shape, form, or fashion, and that just became a part of who I am.
Okay. In 1999, Dead Press came out with "It's Bigger Than Hip Hop," and that was a real solid project they did as well.
Yeah.
Did you think that they would last as long as they did, or did you think they would shelf them as soon as that project came out?
So you talking about as far as in the mainstream?
Yeah, because when they came out, they were loved, and that was unexpected for them to get the love that they did.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's unexpected because I believe that we always get a lot of love for even the positive music that we put out. It's just not publicized like that. They
True.
just happen to break through and actually get the publicity behind it. How they pulled that off, I'm not sure. I don't really know that whole story, but yeah, man. I mean, I wasn't surprised by the music. It was great to hear at that time because it was
Hmm.
definitely needed. And I honestly believe it's going to come back again.
Yeah, there was so much monotony around that time. We had a lot of the hustling, the gangster rap and everything like that. But that project broke through, man, and it kind of
Yeah,
changed the way a lot of stuff was going. Not changed, but it fitted the time. You had a lot of the stuff coming from Raucous Records, Sound Bomb and things like that. And then that dropped in and it kind of like pushed everything. It kind of gave it like a balance, I should say. Not a push, but it gave everything a bit more balance when that project dropped.
absolutely. Yeah, because that was a real big song.
Hmm.
But I think one of the things too that did help the production, help push it forward. It didn't sound dated at all. You know what I'm saying? It kind of fit right in with the times. The production wise, they definitely push the envelope a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was an edgy. The production style was definitely edgy, and I think that helped them out a lot too. The way that they put that record together.
Even now, if you listen to that project, it's still very very current. You know, you could put that on right now, and it still
Absolutely,
makes sense. You know, it's almost it can fit any time. I would like to say.
good music is timeless.
There you go. There you go. It
Good music
really
is
is.
timeless.
You earlier you mentioned Count Bass.
Count
When he
Bass.
Count
Mhm.
Bass. Why do I always do that? Count Bass D. I always say Bass. I don't know why. That's probably why he won't do no interview with me. Like, you keep fucking up my name, man.
It's like a play on Count Basie.
Yeah, that's what I keep going for, but it's not coming out correctly. Any work with him lately?
No, I haven't done any work with Count lately. I mean that's my brother. I talk to him all the time, but I've really been I just been kind of locked in. I really want to do. I'm trying to get to a point where my plate is clean. I really want to do some music myself. That's just me. That's not
Mm,
influenced by anyone else or other people around me. So I'm trying to get to that space.
okay.
I'm sure we'll probably do something again in the future, but right now I just want to focus on me and really like lock in. I feel like I haven't reached my full potential, and I want to keep pushing and. I want to get to that. I just want to get to that point where I feel like, okay, I've arrived. Like, I just feel like I got more growth.
That's the thing though, as an artist, you know, I think the blossoming happens and then there's a lull and then there's a flourishing period and then there's a lull and then there's a what do you call it? There's a period where you just automatic where it becomes automatic and then there's another lull and then you go up again. I think
Right.
being an artist, man, there's so many different lanes and layers to you that it just never stops because you're always exploring the depths and the heights of what you can actually do.
Right.
So that
Absolutely.
hell yeah, so I think that'd be dope to see the next couple projects you got coming up or doing. Will you be planning on working with Agent Smith or Six on any of those?
I would love to. I would love to. I haven't. We haven't really collaborated on any music. I don't think yet. I know.
Never.
I think we. I think I was on a joint that Walt Greer put out. Shout out to my man Walt there in Chattanooga. Uh,
Hmm.
we might have been on a song together there, but I think that might be about it. Yeah, we
That's
might have.
interesting that you haven't done any music with them.
Yeah, yeah. I met him through Walt, and so that's why
Yeah,
I said I think we may be on a song or two that we did, with Walt, but
yeah.
not on any of my projects.
Okay. And Walt mixes everybody in, man. He'll get schoolmates, he'll get the whole band, he'll grab everybody and mix everything in there.
Yeah,
Walt's a
Walt.
pretty dope ass guy.
Yeah, that's my dude, man.
Yeah,
He's
man. He
out.
worked hard too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. The music scene that we're seeing now, there's a surge behind the after the rap beef with Drake and Kendrick Lamar, right? And now
Yeah.
we're seeing more eyes put on Kendrick Lamar and everything. What were your thoughts on that as it unfolded? Because I didn't talk to you while that was happening. I was like, I'm gonna leave him alone and I'll save it for another time because that's like a hot topic. But I'll wait it out.
I mean, it didn't. I didn't really get into it like that. I mean,
Okay.
I so it's a couple like it's to me battling is always part of the culture. It's good for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like that aspect of it. Um, um, in my opinion, both of those dudes are talented, but they're on two different spectrums. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, like to me, Drake is more of a like he makes some good party records. He makes really strong, good commercial music. Just point blank, period. He makes great records for the club, for the ladies, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick can do that as well, but his focus is a little bit more on Kendrick's focus is a little bit more to, in my opinion, has a little bit more of a community element to it, has more of a righteous element to it,
Mm-hmm.
has more of a let me teach you a few things, and also lyrically, I mean, he's not to be played with. You know what I'm saying? Like
Very much so.
he's not to be played with lyrically. So I mean, I've heard some records that he's been on that's I mean, he gets down.
Yeah, he get
So
busy.
Yeah, he get busy, man. So the not saying that Drake don't get busy, but I don't look at him as that type of that type of MC. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
question I should ask you as well, would you consider Drake more of an entertainer than an artist, or more of an artist than an entertainer, or a mixture of both?
I would say it's both because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, so let's first address the ghostwriting thing. A lot of these cats got people helping them out with lyrics and writing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I believe Drake writes his music, some of his music at least, or whatever. I'm sure somebody comes in and helps him out at times. There's a lot of cats out here that get help with their lyrics, so I'm not tripping off of that aspect of it. Um, you know, and as far as him being an artist, yeah, I think he's an artist because I mean he created. Well, I don't know if he created it, but he has a style that he utilizes and that works for him and his style and his audience. And I mean, it sounds good, man. I can't front. I don't just ride around bumping Drake all the time in my car, nothing like that. I like my music a little bit more street, but he got some good records. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna front on the brother. I mean, it's not what I rock, what I ride around and rock to. He do got a couple songs that I listen to. I ain't gonna
Hmm.
front either. But yeah, he's an artist, man. I would never take that away from him. I mean,
Not at all. Not at all.
he's
I
talented, man. He's got talent. I mean, it's not that he's
not.
not
It's not to say
talented.
that he doesn't have it. I just think that when we start talking about layers and growth
Mhm.
and that stuff that we like to see from an artist as they get older, the changing and how they disseminate the information to you. I think we see that more from a J. Cole and more from a Kendrick Lamar than we
Yeah,
do
and
from.
but J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, their foundation when they came out was more along the same lines of where they at now, and so is Drake.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So there's only so much. I mean, Drake has grown. I mean, he's definitely grown in where he's at, where he was, and where he's at now.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
now,
He's had a change. Yes.
I'm not saying he's gonna be Chuck D. You know what I'm saying? He's not. That's not his. That might not be his path.
That's not his
Everybody,
line. No.
yeah, that's not his lane. I mean, he says some conscious stuff in his music here and there. You know what I'm saying? But his role, or I ain't gonna say his role, his direction that we've seen so far is to make people laugh, party, and the women like it, and you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying. So that's it. That's his lane. There's nothing wrong with that. I think different artists got different lanes, and that's what makes music so beautiful and so special. I don't think Drake should be. I ain't gonna say he shouldn't be, but I don't. If that's not what he was in his heart, he doesn't need to, take the social, conscious or
Yeah.
social route. You know what I'm saying? That just might not be in him like that.
It may
And
not, and I think that his next wave of music is probably going to be, uh, it'll probably be eye opening for himself and the people around him and the way that he creates. It'll probably change the way that he does a lot of stuff. I think it'll be good for him as well.
yeah, I mean, it's just not for every, like even if I put something down on paper, it's not gonna sound like what Wise is doing or what
Mm-mm.
Chuck D is doing, or what I'm saying. It's just not because I'm just that's not where I'm at with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I got knowledge. I'm conscious of what's going on. I want to put out some positive music. I'm not gonna be talking about bitches and fat asses and killing niggas. That's not what I'm gonna be talking about. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be talking about that. But at the same time, um, I'm not gonna sound like I'm teaching either. In a sense, I'm gonna drop some jewels, but I'm not gonna lay it down like those brothers do. It's just I think different artists, different people have their lanes, and I think it's important for us to allow those people to navigate in those lanes and not expect too much out of them. I hear a lot of people say what people should be doing and what they should be doing, and this person, what Jay-Z should be doing, he got all this money, and what this I don't feel that way because that's that man money and that's his lane and that's his life. He might not want to build a school. That might not be his thing. Actually, I think he has a school,
I think so.
music, the rock through Rock Nation School, but he wanted to do it that way. He didn't want to build a school with a different type of school or a magnet school or whatever. Everybody has their own lane and the way they want to do things. That's what makes the world so great, and that's what makes music so great. So
Yes.
you know, that's just how I am with it. Like I don't really fall into the I don't like Drake because of this and he.
No. And
let the
it's
man.
not about that. It's not about that. It's about everybody feeling the lane that they're supposed to feel. If you don't like
Exactly.
what I do over here, go
Don't
find
listen.
somebody in the lane that you like. You don't have to come over here and watch or pay attention to anything I do. What I do over here, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
And
What Drake does is what Drake does. I don't knock him for that. What Kendrick does, I listen to that. I go, all right, cool. What Cole does, I listen to that. I go, all right, cool. But
yeah.
everybody feels a lane, and you can't tell people what to like and when to like it. Everybody's not gonna like the same painter. Everybody's not gonna like the same basketball player. Like that's why there are variations, you
and
know.
everybody doesn't have the same mindset at the same time. So the people that like Shorty Red today might not like her in 6 months or 5 years from now if their life is going in a different direction and they see things from a different lens. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Um, it's just what it is. I mean, there's music that I used to listen to all the time that I just can't listen to like I used to just because of my mind is in a different place. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that growth, you grow as a person, and you're not the same person as you was at the time when you were first
Correct.
listening to that artist. So things
Correct.
change. I have a question about a song on toxic masculinity.
Hmm.
I'm a man, number 8.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What was the driving force behind that song?
So that track started out. That started out with just the track at first. I made the beat. Meeks really liked the track, and I want to say that might have been the second verse he wrote for that song. But we were like halfway in, almost finished with the album. We still felt like we needed a song that kind of tied in really well with the title of the album
Mm,
and the whole concept of the album. Um, we had already did a couple of other songs that might would take people this way or that way, or where they might not fully understand or be able to bring the the topic, the subject of toxic masculinity, all the way full circle. And our thing is that as far as toxic masculinity is concerned, it's like you can't really have the both at the same time. Like if you're a man, you can't be toxic and be a man. That's not a
it's
man.
impossible.
Correct. Correct. So it's like a real man is not a toxic person. A real man is going to take care of his family. He's not going to. A real man is not going to be beating on women. You know, a real man. That's just a toxic person. That's not a
Yes, that's a toxic
toxic
person.
man because that's
Because
not a man.
exactly.
So that was our thing. That's why we said we need to let people know what a man is, and
Hmm.
kind of bring that full circle. And that's when I believe Meeks actually came up with his verse first, and we figured out how to really bring the hook together. I brought the Farrakhan clip in.
Hmm.
Um, he wrote the first verse, and we loved the direction it was going, and we was like, well, what's next? Like, what's the next verse going to be? Should I write a verse or what's going? And we just sat back and thought. I was like, I don't want to write a verse for this song. The type of track it is, I wasn't feeling anything specific for myself. And he was like, man, I'd like to get some features on. He said, what about a feature on here? And I was like, let's try to figure it out. And um, while he was thinking on his end, I made a couple of calls and I got Wise to jump on the joint. I asked him, and he agreed. Meeks didn't know that that was happening, and
Okay.
then at the same time, I was doing some work for Blue, some engineering work for Blue. Shout out to my man Blue, man, West Coast Connect, man. He got some great people on his team. I met some real cool cats. Shout out to Jeff Johnson, and uh, he kind of hooked everything up. This guy named Jeff Johnson, and uh, Cassius King, all those brothers over there, man. Big Jupe, Self Jupiter. Shout out! I just had to shout them brothers out, man. They
Go
some good.
ahead. Go ahead. Shout them all out. Shout them all out.
They
That's why you're
showed me.
here.
They showed me a lot of love. But I was doing some work for Blue, engineering wise, and I said, why not? Let me just ask. It ain't going, to hurt to ask. Blue's a busy dude. He got
Hmm.
a lot of music going out. He really got it going on. But I let him know what was going on. I let him know we had, Wise Intelligent on the joint, and it'd be good to just bring him in to kind of sum up what this record is. Talk about being a man, and and whatever that means to you. He heard the record and he jumped right on it. He was like, cool. So we was
Yeah,
able
I
to put.
think I think just for me, um, listening to that song, I think that was the one that kind of hit because, like you just said, toxic masculinity. Masculinity cannot be toxic if it is true masculinity.
Right.
Anything that's toxic to masculinity is the adverse effect. That means it's a man that is toxic. It's not his masculinity. It's not the masculinity of us all. It's the man. It's who he is. If he's out here robbing women, beating women, hurting women, doing perverse things that we don't agree with, that is a toxic man.
That's
His
a
max
toxic person.
Yes, a toxic person. His masculinity isn't toxic at that point. A man, a masculine man would, like they were saying, would protect his woman, would protect his
Correct.
neighborhood, and keep
Correct.
those type of things from happening. So, whoever came up with that label, they were really trying their best to trick people into thinking that
Correct.
that men or black men are a toxic group of people.
They've
You
been
know.
trying to demasculate us for I don't know how long, man. It's like even from from the Hollywood to the dresses and all of
Mm-hmm.
it, and it's all a part of it. And you know, we ain't got to go for it no more, man. We really
Mm-mm.
a lot of people are waking up, man. We not going for the okey doke no more.
Mm-mm.
And we just wanted to address that. Like, look, that's not what it is. We want to show y'all what some real men are.
Right.
We did put some, some content in there that was very edgy, but still at the same time, it can be construed as misconstrued as toxic, but it's really not if you really listen to what he's saying.
Mm-mm. It's the breakdown of things. What you all did was great. You took a word and you broke it down throughout the course of this project, throughout the course of this album. And I
Yeah.
think it's very dope the way that you guys did that. That's why, again, I'm a man hits home for me because it's like masculinity is not toxic. That is the foundation, or that is the yin and yang to a woman being feminine. There's
Right.
femininity, and then there's masculinity, and they mesh together. And when you have a woman being in her feminine self and a man being in his masculine self, the two fit perfectly. So listening to that song, I was like, yo, this is dope the way you guys are breaking it down. And then to have the samples and the clips played along in it,
Right.
was awesome too. And then after that, the song that comes in after that was dope too. Look at me. I was like, yo, y'all cooking. Y'all cooking now. For
Yeah.
real.
That song. That's wild how that came together. That was a real special moment too in the studio for us when we put Look at Me together, because I had I had found this record. I'm not gonna say the name of the artist right now. I'll tell you, closed doors. But
Yeah. Once we stop recording, we'll talk about it.
there's an artist that I was put on to by one of my production homies, and he was like, "Yo, you got to hear this dude, man." So I started buying all the records from this one dude, and I found the sample, and I put this record together, and I just loved how it was going because I like strings. I like strings a lot, and we was in the lab. Me and Meeks just vibing. The music was playing, but we just was like, "What direction? We don't know what direction to go." So the track was just playing. We got some libations going on, and we just in our zone and talking shit to each other, laughing and joking and just vibing. And then somehow, sometimes when we listen to the music, we'll take a break. Just
Okay.
take a break, clear your mind. Might throw on some YouTube, watch a video or something. And something came on that was I forgot what video it was or what song came on, but they was talking about bitches and hoes, and we was in here tripping, and I was like, well, I said, wouldn't it be a trip if I said we always talk about, you know, not we like me, but as a culture, as a people, a lot of stuff that's on the mainstream is always talking about bitches. We say cats saying bitches to their women and that sort of thing. We were trying to raise some eyebrows. So we was like, well, what if we said white bitch?
Mm-hmm.
How would that come across? Like, it's like I was like, white people don't say that in their music. Don't be calling their white chicks bitches and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I said, how would that come off? What kind of conversation could that start? What could we do with that? And his mind just started turning, and he came up with what he got there. Like, we just kind of flipped it and like, what if we flipped it on people? They allow us to say bitches talking about black women all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And from my conversations with certain people and being around certain people, like what I was told by certain ones, they said it's okay if y'all call each other niggas and bitches and hoes. Just don't call us that.
Oh, really? You've heard that before?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Heard that before.
You never heard that one?
Uh-uh.
It's okay if y'all talk about killing each other. We don't care about that. But when y'all start saying y'all gonna kill us and everything, we don't want it. We don't,
That sounds like something that maybe some of the older generation would say, because now, like KRS said, now we got black people, white people calling themselves niggas. So
Yeah,
white boys call themselves niggas.
yeah,
They mad if we don't let them say it. And then
yeah.
you see
Well, why
white
can't
girls
I
calling
say
each
it?
other bitches and stuff too. You can say it.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody say you can't say it.
yeah.
If
You
there's
just
some
you just
consequences,
gotta.
yeah. If there's, and there might not be consequences. I know brothers that's cool with white people saying nigga around them, and
But
I know some that's not.
for me, it depends on the situation and it depends on my emotional intelligence. But because I know the word, I know its history, I know the etymology of the word. I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by it, and I know that if I have you upset at that point where you're using that word to hurt me, then I
Mhm.
already know that I'm already in control. I don't have to do too much to you. All right. Now, if the nigga and me decides to show up to the party and I tell you to, tighten your lips up and you don't choose to, then that's a different story.
That's what I'm saying. Like it might be, you might be able to tolerate it one day, or you might be in
Mm-hmm.
a good mood, a good vibe. I shouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
say good. You just might be in the mode where you're gonna let it roll.
Yeah.
But there might be another time where you like, I'm tired of this shit. You might
Yeah.
want to address it. So, but like I said, it's different because so I'll give you a situation, a couple situations. When I was in college, in Tennessee, there was a brother who started hanging out with some white people, and my crew, we didn't really hang out with white guys like that. We wasn't against it. I had white friends and music and that sort of thing, but just the crew that we had, we didn't really hang out with white people like that. And my the one guy that we know in common who hung out with some white people, they had like an event going on, a hip hop event, and some of the other brothers that I roll with went to the event,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't there, but during that event, some white guy was saying nigga,
Mm.
and um, I don't know the whole context or the situation. I don't think he was saying it like in a derogatory term, but my man was like, "Yo, we don't get down like that." And I guess the white guy didn't care, kept using it or whatever. So a fight broke out. Some people got hurt.
Mm.
Knives came out. Like it was ugly, and it's like, was it really worth that because of what they said? You know what I'm saying? Was it really worth? But at the same time, and I'm saying it from the black side, was it really worth for us to go through that and do all that because of what was said? But then on the other side, was it really worth? Didn't really mean that much to the white guy that he felt like he had to say it or he had the right to say it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's just a fucked up situation, man. And it's like I get both sides of it. And the reason I say I get both sides of it is because the white guy was allowed to speak that kind of way around his so-called his black friends or whatever.
Somewhere along the line, he got it from somebody for
Right.
him
He,
to be
he was
saying
he
it.
was he was allowed to, but at the same time, he didn't have enough discernment to understand that. Look, some people are not going to like that, so you might need to pull back in certain situations. And if somebody comes at you and you got to school people in those type of situations too. But since he didn't, he learned the hard way that night. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I understand both sides of it. Um, I'm a little more tolerant to it now, just because I'm older for one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I spent some time with the Honorable MF Doom, man. Rest in peace to Doom.
Man, rest in
Um,
peace, MF Doom.
he's the one that actually he's the one that actually was like, look, man, that shit don't matter, man. He's like, it's black niggas, it's white niggas, like, fuck that. Don't let that take you to the next level. Like that's not. that ain't the fight. That's not the one that should take you to 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Cause you to really act outside of yourself. He said
yeah.
there's other situations that require that type of energy. But he said in my opinion, that's not the one. He said, at least for me, that's not that. And from talking to him, and I think over time, I still never really been around white people that act that said nigga like that.
Hmm.
But I think I would be a little more tolerant to it. But I've never really still been in that situation too. I, I keep saying too many times, but I can't even think of one time actually.
I
Because
just, I just think it's about the tolerance of the people that are around. How cool are you around people who let you use that word? You know what I mean?
right,
And if you are around black people like that, you know, uh, I don't know, man. It's the situ. It just depends, man. I just
I,
feel like
like I said, can you,
if you understand us and you're around us enough that you will protect us and you standing in the gap. Like if it's you ain't just around us as a be around us, but you there when it's thin and you there when it's thick, then it kind of changes the way things are. But at the same time, you should know not to use a word anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah. But
It's-
it's kind of like when you look at like a Fat Joe or somebody, like he grew up in that element.
and see, New York is totally different. New York is different than anywhere else because they all on top of each other, so everybody's one.
But so why can't they say it in Tennessee
Because
or
that's a
in
different climate.
or in
You understand?
Mississippi
Because that's a
or
different
in
climate. It's a
Mississippi?
different climate. That's what I'm saying. New York
I
is a
get it.
different
I'm just
place.
playing devil's advocate with you, but I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. But
yeah,
that's what the problem is. You know, that's why some people feel like they can say it because other people can say it, and why can't
yeah.
I?
Why can't I? But here's the other thing about
You
that
can.
word. Yeah, here's the other part about that word from doing research on it. Historically, if you were poor, you were just a nigga. And it didn't matter if you were black. You could be Irish or whatever. They just didn't like certain groups of high class citizens, just didn't like,
Classic.
yeah, they didn't like dirty, poor people. So certain groups of them were just niggas all the time. You could have been a white person, a white Irish, or whatever it was, and they ain't like you.
Yeah.
So it's just different points and periods. Man, I may have it wrong, or I may be telling the story wrong, or whatever, but they consider them people niggas too. So
It's always been more a
mm-hmm.
class
A class
situation.
thing, yeah.
But the people that are underprivileged didn't realize if they were of white skin, they didn't necessarily feel
Mm-mm.
uh, the same damage that we felt just because of things like redlining and other situations like that. So, um, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're in a capitalist society, and it's more about the bread anyway than what it is about culture. And
Yeah, and even the ones that were poor, the poor white ones, they were trying their best not to be considered a nigga too. So they went and did what they could to borrow money from banks and open up, their own slave plantations and everything, just so they didn't have to be considered one of us and be amongst us and everything. So
but
there's there's a
little did they know they was being called poor white trash by their own people. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You
So
might have got away from the N word being called a nigga, but you were still being
right,
called white trash,
yeah,
so
still put in the box. So,
yeah. Yeah, and
but
that's what they do. They categorize everybody, and then they get all these people. They get everybody upset and in a uproar and ready to do some stupid shit to each other instead of paying attention to the person that's making you act that way. You know,
right,
it
exactly.
ain't me and you. The fight ain't between me and you. It's hey, where is it coming from? Why do you feel that way about me? Because I don't feel that way about you. And if I did feel that way, where is it coming from?
That's the crazy part. It's like we don't even if it's crazy because it's like we don't want to treat y'all like y'all treated us.
Hmm.
We just want a fair shake, and we want y'all to know, like, look, we ain't putting up with this no more.
That's a fact.
And even when, not if, but even when we take power again or get better control of what we got going on, I don't see us wanting to have white people chained up in our backyard. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And taking advantage of them and having them do. We can do for ourselves. Y'all can do for yourselves. Just don't try to. cut us out of the pie that we deserve. You know what I'm saying? So that's the it's simple, but it's complex at
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
the same time.
definitely. It's just a weird situation. It's kind of like, when people fight dogs, right? You see the dogs get into the tub, or they get into the arena or whatever, and they maul each other. But if you actually think about, like, who put you in there?
Right.
Hmm?
That's real.
Why are y'all fighting? Ain't nobody making y'all fight. Now y'all got to, because of all this pent up aggression. But the reason why you in there is because somebody threw you in there and they told you to fight.
Initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from? So definitely. So back to the song, man. The look at me. I think, yeah, we would, because we done got all the way off.
Yeah. That
Look at
happens.
me is a dope. That's a dope song, man. I like how that came together as well. Um, the fact that you all went that route, and just as just saying bitches, which was the cool part that we would normally hear. That's the norm in our rap music and everything. The fact that you all changed it, and put some more force on it. I was like, oh, they trying to cause a stir with this one, man. If it get enough push, I'm sure it will. Speaking of push,
Yeah.
are you one who goes out and promotes the music that you guys put out?
So
By
we do the best we can to promote it.
Okay.
We put some dollars behind it, but I mean, we don't have a big budget. We don't have, you know, big budgets to put behind it, but we do what we
Mm-hmm.
can. Guerrilla style. We did a couple little videos and that sort of thing. Um, we got some other ideas that we're working on. I'm about to drop the instrumentals, so the instrumental album. Do try to keep posting it, but um, I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to build a team up. It really takes a team to make to be able to break records.
Okay.
If you like the La Russell and cats like that, man, those brothers got teams. They're not doing it all themselves. And I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from his grind. I'm sure he put in a whole bunch of sweat equity initially to get things rolling and everything, but it takes a team to really take you to the next level. And me and the guys that I roll with, we've done some pretty dope stuff in our times and worked with some of the biggest names around. But I don't think we focus so much on the music. We never really focus that much on the business like we should. And
Okay.
I've been talking to some people and just trying to put a team together, man. And it's just hard to find. For me, it's been hard to find management and people who want to do the marketing and that sort of thing, and really thrive in that arena to get things rolling and get the wheels turning to really blow it up. I got a real good graphic designer on my side, so our cover and artwork and stuff is always on point. The music is there, as far as the quality of music that we're putting out.
Okay.
The caliber of MCs, I'm always around good MCs and stuff. But when it comes to like the marketing stuff, for me, just to be honest, when I have to start doing that stuff, it takes away from my creativity. So
Mm.
I'm only going to do the minimal, just because the creative part for me is so important. Um, and I just got so much stuff that's up here that I got to get out. So if I'm just stopping just marketing and promoting all day on social media, that's taken away from my creative side.
That's another headache you got to worry
I
about.
and it's not. I don't even want to say it's a headache.
True. It's just
It's just
another
not.
title. It's another title.
It's not. Yeah, you can only do so much. Like
Hmm.
if you start doing multiple things and 5, 6 different hats, like then you do a little bit of everything, but not just one thing great. And I really want to bring in some other people that can
I
help
hear you.
take
I
to the.
totally understand that.
So yeah, if anybody out here sees this and want to work with some dope folks, man, give me a shout. We'll see if we can on the business side. And like I said, and I've met some people before that said, hey, let's do it. But then coming to find out they really just wanted to rap, or they just you know what I'm saying. Like I want some people that's serious about marketing, or serious about wanting to be a manager, or serious about helping book shows and that sort of thing. Like it's a lot that goes into all of this. We can book our own shows, but there's a lot of other elements to it. There's licensing plays to be done. There's a lot of things that need to happen, and it's it's hard to do everything.
Yeah, helping you get on some commercials, 20 minute, not 20 minute, 20-second commercials where you get your music played, what do you call it?
Right.
Placements,
Yeah.
getting placements and things like
Sync
that.
placements, those sync movie and TV sync licensing deals.
Yeah, man.
Like those opportunities out there. I mean, I've done some stuff for TV already. Um, Couple C films, but I want to really get some make some big things happen, and it's just all about the connections, man. It's all
That's
about who.
all. Yeah, it's all about the connections. If you know anybody, hit up DJ Pocket, man. Let them know what you're capable of doing.
Yeah,
We're
we just
looking for
try to
them.
put together a team, man, and like I said, I know some people in places that have made things happen for us when we needed to, but it'd be good to have some dedicated people there that we could really count on, you know, to
As
push the.
far as doing shows, would you rather be out doing shows or are you more of a studio guy?
I'm a studio guy. I mean, I like to play the background. To be honest, I'm not really a forefront type of dude. I know I probably need to put myself out there a little bit more, but and when I say I'm a hell of a producer, I don't mean making beats. Like I know what sounds good. I know how to bring the best out of an artist. Like if you really want to fine tune your shit and sound dope and get a dope final product, get in the lab with me. Like I know how to make somebody say. I mean, you got to have that potential, but if you can listen a little bit, like I know how to make somebody sound dope. Like um, that's that's the way I feel like I shine. You know, on
Okay.
that aspect,
All right,
I can
cool.
bring the best out of an artist.
Outside of the project that you have put out, Toxic Masculinity, are there any other projects in the hip hop world that you're listening to?
Mm, that I'm listening to. Um, it so I work in like phases. I don't necessarily listen to what's out now and that sort of thing. What the newest thing is. Lately, I've been listening to Corday. Been listening to a lot of Corday lately.
Dope kid, I like him.
Been listening to a lot of. I think I've went and listened to his last three albums over the past week. I've just been having him in rotation. I really like what he's doing. Um, I like the sound that they got. I haven't stopped to find out who's producing his music, but I really like what he's doing.
I do too. I think he's dope.
So I've been listening to him. Definitely acknowledge the Pete Rock and Common album.
I still haven't listened to that.
Yeah, I'm listening to that. Been listening to what else am I listening to right now? I'm not listening to a lot right now, to be honest, because I'm kind of in production mode. I'm in beat mode, so I
Okay.
don't listen to a lot of. I definitely don't listen to a lot of music that I feel like is kind of in the same lane that I'm in. I don't do that while I'm in like heavy production mode. So that's why like I listen to Corday or something he's doing over here because that's a little different than
Mm-hmm.
what I do on a regular. But I mean, I can do the type of production that he has. So that's kind of why I'm listening to it because I'm working in that arena a little bit now too. I'm doing a little bit. I'm branching out a little bit. So um, I had some opportunities. So I've been listening to a lot of that as a lot of more commercial and mainstream music as well, for
Okay.
lack of a better term. Um, I just say that just so you know what I'm referring to. But to me, it's all music at the end of the day.
Okay.
Good music is good music, whether
That is
it's
correct.
on the radio or only you got to find it on Spotify or just know somebody to get an MP3 of it. Like
Yeah.
music,
Oftentimes I find myself scrolling like the internet, not the internet, the YouTubes, or through iTunes. I'll just type in different type of artists or see what type of artists are linked together, and I'll just go through the path of music that way just to see what pops up. And you'll find some really good music out here, man, which is what I love. I like music that I haven't heard before. I like artists that I haven't heard before. I love getting on SoundCloud, or a Bandcamp and just seeing what they have on there and going through those artists and seeing what's really out there, man. You found some really dope shit out there. And it's good to hear something that's refreshing or people that are just genuine about the music that they're doing. And they're just not going, they're not performing this music just so they can be in the mainstream, you know.
Right, right. You just like I said, you just get in the lab and make good music, and whatever it comes out to be is what it is. And a lot of the music that is made in that manner could be quote unquote mainstream. It just doesn't have the push behind it. It's
Hmm.
just as good as whatever else is out there, or sometimes better. It's just not getting the same look because you don't have the same machine behind you.
Yeah,
It boils down to
yeah,
that machine goes a long way, and it doesn't even have to be like a mainstream. You can have your own machine. I mean, we
yeah,
can hire the same people that they do,
yeah.
and it's
You
not
just got
that.
to build, like you said, you have to build a team correctly to get that type of push. What you're saying is very significant. And going back to earlier, if I'm the artist or if I'm the DJ or whatever, I can't spend my time doing the promotion, going to the radios and everything like that, trying to do the marketing. I need people in place to do those type of things just so I can focus on the
Right.
artistry itself because it drains your battery and it makes you wear too many hats. And when you're doing too many roles,
Mhm.
the creativity will suffer at some point.
And one other thing that's important is that has to be your goal. Like that's not my goal. My goal is not to be mainstream, or you know what I'm saying. That's not my goal.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever mine's either. Mine's was just to put out dope music and get out people way.
You know, if it happens, I'm not opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? The payday could be real nice, but at the same time, um, I do well, certain releases and that sort of thing. I do pretty
Hmm.
good. Yeah, I'm happy with the return and especially from what I had to put into it and what the return is good. And then it only increases in time with consistency. So, I just got to be able to stay in the lab and keep pumping out good music.
And I think that's where people get it wrong. They think that being mainstream or selling 20 million or 100 million copies of records is the end goal. But success is based on how you see it. Success is based on where you see
Absolutely.
yourself, your plan and your goal for what you have going on. It has nothing to do with what the industry says or what people think that you should have. It's all about what you have planned for yourself, and that's all you have to stick to and worry about. If you don't want to sell 100 million copies of records, that's not for you. You don't have to work that hard, or you don't have to be around that group of people to do that. It's just based on what it is that you desire.
Right. And I don't want to say that I don't want to sell a million units. I would love to sell a million units. I'm not saying that, but I don't feel like I have to be. I'm not chasing the mainstream.
Correct. You're not chasing the source that does it that way, because you could
Correct.
easily drop a song tomorrow and get that type of recognition, but
Correct.
it's being attached to a certain type of machine or a type of entity that
That's not.
has you do that, and it's not a part of what you want to be a part of.
I'd be happy with a consistent 10,000 fan base that just. I know when I drop this, 10,000 people are going to buy it.
And
Like
rock out, and I'll be okay with that. You know,
absolutely.
if there was like you said, the 10,000 or 12,000 monthly, like I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that many subscribers tuning in and listening to the podcast. I would be okay with that. Same way you would be okay with the records. That would be
And,
fine.
and I mean, even just getting a consistent 2 or 3, 4,000 is a nice payday. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's a nice payday, when you're putting music out. Don't get me wrong, but my goal right now, my first goal is 10,000. That's just, and I want to get that on a more consistent level. But at the same time, I haven't done everything I know that I need to do to get there.
Hmm.
I know that there's still work that I need to do, and you know, I'm gonna keep pushing.
And you'll get there. You'll get there. You put in a lot of work to build that as it is. So it's only a matter of time before you crack that open.
And I learned along the years, it's like it doesn't have to look a certain way. It should be different for each person, from person to person. Some
Hmm.
people have this picture in their mind that this is how it needs to go. It needs to be done this way, and that's not how it works. Like you really need to carve out what works for you, how it works for your lifestyle, for your family. If you have a family that have to support what your situation is, and I have a model now that's working for me. I'm just like I said, I'm working on executing it, and one of the things I'm trying to do, like I said before, is reel it in and make DJ Pocket more self sufficient, where
Hmm.
I would count on other artists to help bring in the revenue as well. So that's what my new focus is for the next years coming up.
All right, cool. Well, if you need me for a verse, let me know.
Absolutely.
Let me know. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, I want to definitely put out some more DJ Pocket albums, some compilation, and
Just let me know, bro.
that sort of thing. Yeah, no
Just let
doubt.
me
We'll make
know.
it happen.
Just let me know. All right. Is there anything else you need to get off your chest before we get out of here?
No, that's about it, man. I appreciate you tapping in with me and giving me an opportunity to come on the platform and just let people know what's going on with me. Everything's still the same. DJ Pocket. You can catch me on Instagram at DJ Pocket. Been starting to get on Twitter a little bit. I need or X now. I need to step up my presence on there a little bit. But yeah, just trying to get this album to a few more outlets. We got some tracks on there that are that don't have samples on it. So I'm a man, so we're working on some licensing plays for some of the things and just working, man, just working. So I appreciate everybody, appreciate the support. Look for the instrumental album coming soon. And we're just gonna keep grinding, man. Got some good things coming for 2025.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. I appreciate you jumping on here, taking the time out to do it. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And
Yes,
with
sir.
that said, remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. Everyone take care and be safe out there.
Appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm.